Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Good morning, good afternoon, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is April 7th, 2026. This is the pre-market briefing show. Let's get into it, y'all. I'm running 2 shows every day. This is the pre-market brief. We'll be back when the market opens for the market open show, where I break down live price action, momentum, and execution. Remember, I watch the market, give the breaking news, and find the levels so you don't have to. So when it comes to the pre-market briefing show, I give 3 support levels and 3 resistance levels for each of the $1 trillion tickers. All right, we're at 23 in the fear and greed index, which is in extreme fear. We had data come out at 5:30. That data was core durable goods orders month over month. It was forecasted at 0.5%. Actual was 0.8%. And we had durable goods orders month over month forecasted at negative 1.1%, came in at negative 1.4%. All right, let's get into the mantra right quick. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right. Another thing that happened was we had crude hit an all-time high. Check it out right quick. So this is a WTI, the U.S. crude oil spot future. As you can see right here, it hit 117.24. That's an all-time high, and that was just around 30 minutes ago at 5:13 a.m. And then it sold off immediately. As you can see, it had ran up. It was at 115. It ran up crazy and then sold off crazy, consolidated, and now it's running back up. Now it's at 116.45. So just keep that in mind. Oil is elevated because we got the Trump situation, Iran situation. But let's get into the Robert Greene's daily law for today. Do not be the court cynic. Politeness is to human nature what warmth is to wax. By being polite and friendly, you make people palatable and obliging. The ability to express genuine wonder and admiration is a rare talent that makes people palatable and open to your influence. Constant criticism or cynicism only serve to irritate those around you, casting a gray cloud over your reputation. By expressing modest admiration for the achievements of others, you paradoxically draw more positive attention to your own value. In long-term investing, the court cynic misses the structural growth of the $1 trillion tickers by constantly waiting for the big crash. While they are busy criticizing the current volatility, the disciplined investor remains palatable, taking the shape of the wealth-building machine. By admiring the resilience of companies like brk.b during extreme fear, you align your portfolio with your success. Your capital takes the shape of freedom you command because you didn't let cynicism freeze your execution. Fulfilling your life's tasks require a spirit of wonder at the compounding power of the market. Active traders who become cynical about the news or Trump's 8 p.m. deadline often find themselves fighting the momentum instead of riding it. You must remain soft like wax. ready to pivot your bias based on the data that comes out, if that data is going to move the market, which would be a orange or red folder. If you constantly criticize the price action, you become brittle and lose your edge in this fear and greed index that's at 23 right now. Expressing admiration for the level of algo signals allows you to follow the smart money without the weight of the ego-driven gray cloud. Politeness to the trend makes the profits more palatable. Wow. That was dope how that weaved that in there. That weaved everything in there. Alright. The data is in. The oil is hot. The 8 p.m. clock is ticking. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. Execution over emotion. Process over prediction. Alright. Let's get into these charts, y'all. Okay, since that data came out at 5:30, as you can see, we sold off, and now we're trying to recover. But let's get to these $1 trillion tickers. All right, SPY in the pre-market. SPY in the pre-market currently at 656.06. To the downside support, we got 655.55, followed by the pre-market low of 653.93, 653.58, and then I got a weekly level at 653, 652.20, 651.55. To the upside resistance, we got 656.80, 658.50, 659.70. And the pre-market high is 660.38. QQQ currently in the pre-market at 584.69. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 582.97, followed by 582.10, 580.25. To the upside resistance, we got 586.05, 587.70, and a pre-market high of 589.90. The VIX did spike up earlier this morning to 26.27, but it's currently at 25.03. All right, NVIDIA in the pre-market is at 175.38. To the downside support, we got 175.20. That's the pre-market low, followed by 173.65 and 172.70. To the upside resistance, we got 175.75, 177.42, which is the pre-market high, and 177.80. Apple currently in the pre-market, it's at 256.85. The downside support, these levels are pretty close to each other, but I'm going to say them anyway. 256.40, 256.13. Then a pre-market low of 255.74, then 255.11, and 254.20. To the upside resistance, we got 257, 257.84, which is a pre-market high, 258, and 259. Google currently in the pre-market is at 301.20. To the downside support, we got 350 cents. Followed by the pre-market low, 299, 298.50, 298.05. To the upside resistance, we got 302.30 and the pre-market high of 304.88. Tesla currently in the pre-market at 348.15. To the downside support, we got 347.23, which is the pre-market low, followed by 346.15. And then we got the top of the gap here at 344.69. To the upside resistance, we got 350, 353.79, which is the pre-market high, and 355.30. Next, we got Microsoft, currently in the pre-market at 371.51. To the downside support, we got 370.75, followed by the pre-market low at 370.42, 369.40, 367.80. To the upside resistance, we got 372.70, 373.65, and 374.70, which is a pre-market high. Next, we got Amazon, currently in the pre-market at 211.78. To the downside support, we got 211.20, followed by 210.87, which is the pre-market low, and 210.10. To the upside resistance, we got 212.21, followed by 213.20, 213.55. TSM currently in the pre-market at 339.95. To the downside support, we got 338.60, followed by 337.80, which is the pre-market low, 336.70, and 334.65. To the upside resistance, we got 342.40, followed by 344.20, 344.69, which is the pre-market high. Next, we got Meta currently in the pre-market at 569.57. To the downside support, we got 569.20, 568.14, which is pre-market low, 566.70, and 564.40. To the upside resistance, we got 572, 574, 576.47, which is the pre-market high. Next, we got AVGO currently in the pre-market at 325.31. To the downside support, we got 324.90, 322.50, 322.05, which is the pre-market low, and 319.50. To the upside, we only have the pre-market high, 326.90. brk.b currently in the pre-market at 475.98, pre-market low, 474.51, followed by 473.50. To the upside resistance, pre-market high, 477.19. All right, that's it, y'all. Set your alerts on our prices. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back at the market open. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.